This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Welcome to Swedes on the Loose. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Christina. It's nice to be here.
It's nice to be here, too.
Nice to be seen and heard.
Yes, I know. Yeah, most of our listeners, they can't see us, but we see each other like this at least once a week, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's unfortunately for you today because I came in, I was like a hot, coming in hot, barking and like, terrible.
That's quite all right. At least you're here. That's all that matters. So,
yeah.
So I want to tell you, I talked to one of our listeners yesterday. So we have one more listener. I'm so excited.
This is awesome.
And she can't wait for Tuesdays. She loves Tuesdays when we release our shows.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that.
Yep. But anyway, so today we talked about, I think it was last episode, we talked about format and stuff. So we thought, it's not a bad idea to kind of figure out, introduce ourselves, like who we are, what made us who we are today. And so today it's going to be Sandra on the loose. So Sandra is the Swede on the loose today. And so why don't you just start from the beginning?
Okay, I will. I'm going to back up though a little bit because I feel like we have a little bit of housekeeping before we.
Oh, and I didn't bring my notes. You're going to kill me. I didn't bring my notes.
I'm not going to kill you.
Okay, good.
This time.
Okay. Well, I'll do rain check.
Yeah, that you could do a rain check. And the other thing I was going to say, just to kind of, prepare people, that the reason why we're kind of launching into my story and then next week Christina's story is so that we can launch from there to other Swedes on the loose. But we figured it would be good to kind of start with us since we're possibly unknown to you as well. Yep. So that's why we're sharing our story. And then, so my housekeeping points were, wait, did you have Oh Boy? You had Oh Boy,
I
right?
did. And I mean, I can give you the gist of it, which is Oh Boy, Swedish Oh Boy, which is Swedish chocolate milk, is less sweet than American Nesquik. And Nesquik is actually not even American. It's actually Swiss. It's from, I can't remember the name of the brand, but Nesquik is not American. But Nesquik chocolate syrup that most Americans drink as chocolate milk when they put it in milk is way more sweet and has more fat in it than Oh Boy does. And Oh Boy, which is the Swedish chocolate milk, is less sweet and has kind of a malt flavor. That's what I learned online, at least.
Yeah.
So there you have it. That was my homework.
Yeah. And I learned, because I was really curious about why on earth it was called Oh Boy. And I think it's super, as always, I overanalyze everything, but it's super easy. It's just when it came out which was, I think, I don't even know now. Was it the 30s or, no, was it 50s?
Okay.
When this came out, English phrases were super popular. And,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like in Sweden and Europe. Okay. And so Oh Boy was like a catchy, enthusiastic expression. And so it evoked a sense of childlike joy, fun, and energy. Perfect for a product aimed at children. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what.
You found out more than I did because I didn't find that. Awesome.
Yeah. So there was that. And then I don't know if I really want to spend any more time talking about like cuss words and stuff, but we did. we
can talk about that. Well, let's do a whole episode about cuss words.
Okay, so we'll table that or whatever. Yeah. We'll table that for another day.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. We're leaving you hanging, listeners. Come back later for that one.
Cliffhanger on that one. Woohoo.
Yeah. All right. So my story.
Yes. Tell us how you got loose.
How did I end up loose in this world? Well, I was born into a Swedish family in Sweden. And then at the age of 4, my parents left. This was back in, we all know how old I am. We've already covered that. This is back in like the late 70s. My dad was working for Volvo at the time, and they decided to send him to Singapore. They asked him if he would go to Singapore, and Mom and Dad jumped at the opportunity. They thought it sounded like a great adventure. And so off we went to Singapore. It was my brother and I, and later on they added one more to our little tribe. She was born, my younger sister was born in Singapore. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Glen Eagle Hospital, I think is
wow.
what it was called. Yeah.
That does not sound very Singaporean.
Well, it's such a melting pot.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But we were there for 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And then moved.
So how old were you said? When you went there?
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then, yeah. And so I attended Singapore American School.
Wow.
And that's how I that's how I came by my American accent. And this is so funny for you listeners. Christina just left because she had to go take care of some dogs. I'm just talking into the ether. No, I'm talking to you guys, you listeners. Thank you. Yeah. So then when we left Singapore, we moved to Belgium. We were there for a couple of years. Moved back to Sweden. This was all with Volvo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
All Volvo. And then then that was back to Sweden for a number of years. And then from Sweden, back to Belgium.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. And that time around, I got to bring my pony.
Okay. Oh, so you had your pony in Sweden first?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I managed to convince mom and dad to buy a pony when I was in, was it 6th grade? I think 6th grade.
Okay.
Yep. So then, yeah. So that's how we came back to Brussels, Belgium.
Okay.
And then I attended an international school, ended up transitioning to a Scandinavian school. So I ended up graduating from a small Scandinavian high school. I think we were maybe like 25 students.
Oh, wow.
Graduating that year. Yeah, it was great. I love that.
That's awesome.
Total opposite to my kids' experiences where they're like, how many? Hundreds and hundreds.
Right. Takes hours to graduate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then what else did I do after that? Kind of country hopped a little bit, spent some time in Spain learning Spanish.
But this was on your own, though. This was not with your family.
This is on my own. So now I'm on my own. Yeah.
Right.
So now I'm kind of launched into the world. Ended up going to a hotel school called Hosta in Leisa in Switzerland, French-speaking part of Switzerland. Loved that. That's where I met my bestie, Anna, who still lives in Stockholm.
Cool.
And yeah, and then from there, I'm trying to think how this all went down. This is like a very summarized version. And from there, we were recruited to do the Disney Management Trainee Program in Orlando, Florida. So I spent a year in Orlando at the Grand Floridian Hotel and Spa.
Fancy.
Yeah, super fun. Then back to Europe. At that time, my parents were living in KL in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
So then I went and visited with them for a little bit. Ended up going back to hotel school to wrap up. At that point, the school had been bought up by Glion Hotel Institute.
Okay.
So then I was located really close to Gruyère.
Okay.
Which is where where all the cheese.
Yep.
Gruyère cheese.
Yep.
And gosh. And then I went back to Brussels and then started working for a PR company in Brussels.
So not
right?
hotel.
No. It was London. I was in London for a little bit. This is so many moons ago. Who's even keeping track?
So from all the training you did with the hotel, did you ever apply that within the hotel? Did you work at a hotel ever?
I did. So I was sales and marketing coordinator at the Radisson SAS Portman in London for a while.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
I didn't love London.
Okay. Really?
Personally?
Huh.
Wasn't really my cup of tea.
Okay. No pun intended.
And then I went back to Brussels. And so Brussels was kind of home base. Still had my family there.
Okay.
and worked for a PR company for a little bit.
Okay.
And then that's where, when I lived, oh God, that was fun times, living in the city center of Brussels, had my apartment, had my dog, had my job. I lived above the best shoe shop ever. I mean, yeah, it was, good times. And then from there, that's where I also met my ex-husband now, but
Yep.
that's where I met Matt, and
Okay.
he is from Arizona. And so he started a company with his brother.
Okay.
And then we ended up moving to Arizona after we got married, and we started a family. And I've been here ever since. So this was like 2002, 2003.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we had 3 kids, and along the way, so between the second and third kid, so between Charlie and Vivi, Mia was diagnosed with a brain tumor,
Right.
which was fairly traumatic, as one might
Say the
imagine.
least. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was just, it was something else.
Yeah.
And thank God I had my family here at the time, because Mom and Dad had already decided to move to Arizona at this point. So they had been
totally
coming.
unrelated?
Totally unrelated. They had been
That's
coming
crazy.
they had been coming as snowbirds for a number of years. And then they eventually decided that they wanted to be here full time. And my brother lives in Boston, so I think they felt like they kind of wanted to be more stateside. And my younger sister was wrapping up university in the UK. The timeline is a little whatever, but this is roughly the story. But it is interesting to note that they had decided to move here before Mia was diagnosed, which felt really, really great for me, because I never had to feel like they came to, to rescue me or help me.
Of course.
So that's, and then in the middle of all this, or along the way, Matt's and my marriage, we didn't make it. It was
right.
a lot of things simultaneously. And here we are today. And, as I was thinking about talking to you about my story today, I kind of contemplated like, well, what's my area of expertise?
Okay.
What's my field? Like, if we're going to be talking to people moving forward and hopefully getting to hear about their area of expertise, what do I think that I can speak to? And I'm a little bit narrow-minded, and I was kind of thinking like, oh, well, I'm not an attorney, or I'm not a doctor. I don't have this. I don't have like a specific career choice that makes me, that I get paid for my area of expertise. But I thought about it, and I feel pretty comfortable saying that I think that my area is adaptability.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I feel really, I feel like that's the strong suit that I have, that because we moved so much, and because I was always, I don't want to say forced, but because we moved so much, and because I would land in an environment or somewhere, I would kind of use what I've talked about before. I think the improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yep.
And that is something that I've had to do many times in many different situations.
Yeah.
So, but thank goodness I had my family here when everything happened with Mia. Thank goodness I had a huge Swedish community to lean on.
Great. Were you a member of Svea then already? Swedish Women's Educational Association?
Wow, you're impressive.
Wow, right?
Yeah, I must have been. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I knew Suzanne. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, who at the time for many years she was the president of the Arizona chapter, Suzanne Southard. Right. Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
And just for the listeners, how is Mia doing today? How old is Mia today?
Well, funny you should ask, because she turned 20 on July 1st. So it was,
that's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. She's doing remarkably well.
Great.
She had a number of long-term effects or impacts from the treatment. So she, she has a walker for mobility, and
Right.
her executive functioning is a little bit impacted. Her processing is very slow,
Okay.
but she worked herself back to her current state. She basically lost everything. So I'll dive into that story a little bit because
Yep.
that is part of who I am. It's a big part of who I am.
Of course.
So she was initially diagnosed in 2010 with medulloblastoma,
Okay.
which is a brain tumor.
Yep.
And the next day she had like an 8-9 hour resection, and they were able to remove the tumor, and she came back neurologically sound, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
We love our surgeon there, Dr. Shaffron. He's absolutely amazing at Phoenix Children's Hospital. But then we had to make a very quick decision on what kind of treatment to do, and we went with chemo and radiation. We decided to be part of this clinical trial that had an open randomization. No, how do you say it? An open. Where you're open. Yeah, you're openly randomized for a lower dose of radiation. If you were in this, you could be, and she was selected as one of the ones to receive a lower dose.
Okay.
So she was randomly selected.
Okay.
Thank goodness, because this radiation did such a number on her.
Okay.
That 9 months after her treatment, 9 months after the radiation was done, she took a turn for the worse.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 1 year, we basically pulled her from kindergarten because she was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
By the next year, we started her in kindergarten again, but had to pull her by, I think, Halloween because she had lost everything. I mean, she went from walking into the classroom in August to, by Halloween, she couldn't sit up in a medical stroller. She lost muscle tone. She lost control of bowel and bladder. Her eyes were darting. She had terrible ataxia. She couldn't express herself. She couldn't speak. So it was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
So they pumped her full of steroids to give her strength, and so she swelled up like a balloon. Okay. And at this time, she also had, conditioned herself not to eat. So she already had what's called a Mickey tube. So it's like a feeding tube. So she had this tube surgically kind of implanted into her belly.
Yeah.
But because the steroids made her balloon up, she got an infection. Like it was just one thing after the next.
Okay.
So she's been through a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. And so at that time when we were at the worst, we reached out to we found through something called the Purple Society. The Purple Society is run by Anthony Conti and Sue Conti. They had a little girl who unfortunately didn't make it through her cancer treatment.
Okay.
But they put us in touch with their oncologist in Philly, at the Children's Hospital in Philly.
Oh, okay.
So when this all happened for Mia, I mean, there was so much that happened. There was just so much that happened all at once. But when this all happened for Mia, we kind of split the kids up for a certain period of time. I took Mia to Philly to be under this doctor.
Yeah.
And we did 55 hyperbaric oxygen treatment sessions, or what we now called HBOT.
Yeah.
And that was her saving grace. So she did PT and OT and speech and all those things. And she's done that for a good number of years. But that HBOT is what really made a huge difference for her. Okay. And not only did it kind of stop the necrosis of the brain cells, which is when a cell dies, it reversed it a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So this was, back in 2011. It was very anecdotal at the time that, HBOT would have any kind of positive effect on, in particular, like brain injuries. It's
Okay.
used for, it's used mostly for if you have like carbon monoxide poisoning
Yeah,
or,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so we did that and, yeah. And so it's been a long
Right. And
process
she just turned 20.
and she just turned 20.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she just graduated from high school for
Oh,
those of you who kind of heard some of those episodes and the stories of
Yeah.
graduation and all that. So it's been a lot of celebration. And then her birthday was July 1st. And her birthday is, of course, a celebration, but it also gives me pause every year.
right.
But overall, we're doing good. Everybody's good.
Good.
Yeah, life is good. But it goes back to being just, having to adapt
Right.
and kind
I
of,
call it pivot,
yeah.
but adapt is also a good word. I like that. I like that a lot. So because of all of this, because of all your travels, because of all your experiences, and because the traumatic events traumatic years that you have gone through with Mia, do you feel that you are the person you are today because of all of this?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
You
And
know,
who are you today?
oh boy.
It's a deep question.
You tell me, who am I today?
Right.
Who am I today?
Besides besides being able to adapt and pivot, who is Sandra today? Because of all, I mean, if you don't know the answer right now and just on top of the head, you don't have to answer me. It's just interesting because when people ask you that, and the reason why I'm asking is because when you have job interviews that
Yeah.
I've had in the past, I don't know, 4 months or whatever it is that I've been without a job, sometimes they ask you that question and I'm like, I don't know. I am who I am because I am. I mean,
Right.
how do you put a name or a word to it? But it also makes me kind of reflect of who am I and why am I who I am today?
Right.
So it's just maybe just think about it and if you know the answer, then great. And if not, you can always answer me later.
No. I mean, it's a good question. And I guess I feel like when I'm sitting in a job interview or something like that, then I have a little bit of an angle and I know kind of
Right.
how to play into that
Yes.
a little bit more. So this is more open-ended, but it's a fantastic question. And what I will say is I remember being on one trajectory prior to all of this and kind of turning into a consumer, frankly, having moved to the US and starting a family and just kind of being groomed by shops and stores and advertisements and so on. Like, okay, you're having a baby. Okay, you're going to go to this store. You're going to buy this. You're going to set up the nursery like this, according to Pottery Barn Kids. You're going to, so it was kind of, I felt like a little superficial, which is not who I was at all, even though I had a very privileged childhood and a very, and had been, very privileged childhood.
Okay.
And, but I was never, I don't think I was ever spoiled. Mom and Dad were very conservative and Swedish, and you weren't just like showered with things.
Right.
But of course it's, to have a pony and to be horseback riding in any country, I think is somewhat privileged.
Right. I agree.
But
like Malibu.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, she's sending her daughter to a horse camp in Malibu.
Yeah, but you have to understand, I'm not like all those people.
Aha. Just wait.
Right. But I think that I sometimes wonder about why all this happened, and I'll never know. But I think the universe was kind of gently trying to slap me in the face and get me to wake up. And I don't think I was listening.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I was getting the message. And so finally, I had to be really slapped in the face to be like, you need to wake up.
That's a big slap, though.
There's a different way to do, and I don't know this is obviously not about me, this involves my daughter, and there's so much more out there, but you just going through this, you try and make sense of it somehow. So it's like you're grasping for straws a little bit, trying to figure out why this is happening. And it doesn't really matter so much why it happened. It matters what you're going to take away from it. So I've settled in, the aches and pains have to be for a reason. And so I'd like to believe that I'm a better person, that I'm more self-aware, that, that I see things around me. And I also strongly believe that Mia's gift to the world and to all of us and to me is to slow down, because the world is a very high-paced world. Yeah. Things happen very quickly, and sometimes it's much better to slow down and take stock. So I think that's her gift to the world.
It's a beautiful way of looking at it. Instead of wallow in the misery and the, all the bad things that have happened, then looking at it as a gift instead. That's incredible. And that's part of who you are.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. I was answering that question. I lost that. Sorry. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know, but it is part of who you are because you can see it. And I go back to, and we joke about this, but when we were driving one time and, this person was passing, we talked about this already. Yeah. I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
Right. So, you said, maybe he found out that he just had cancer, because that's your kind of automatic response as, oh my God, he must be driving like crazy because he got bad news.
Yeah.
And my response was, well, maybe he just had to pee.
Yeah.
That's why he's driving fast. So it's interesting that you are the person you are today because of you've been
your experiences shape you. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So so that's just interesting. So
now I just need my sweet Mia to recognize the gift that she has within her, as we all do. We all need to recognize the gift.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that will come with age, though. As she gets older. I mean, 20s. She's still young, and she's still very young in her mind. So I would say just give it time, and she will eventually find herself and what her purpose is. So and in between all this, you have Charlie and Viv, and they're just chugging along and doing their thing, and so which is incredible.
And you asked me who I am. The other message that I kind of received early on in life is that I'm a helper, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe my name Sandra, which comes from the name Alexandra, I believe it also means being a helper. And I consider myself a little bit of a connector. I like being the bridge between things.
Okay.
So I definitely like helping out, which makes me, it allows me to really enjoy my role as a mother. It allows me to enjoy my role as a personal assistant.
I just want to say.
Yeah, right. And as a caretaker to Mia, as so many different things. I love being the bridge. I love being the connector. I love helping out, having purpose that way. So, that's who I am. Awesome. Yeah.
So just going back to your name, where did you look that up ever? Is that where you found it from, or you found out? Because I need to look up.
I need to look it up now, but I have this. I have for some reason I put this memory because I moved so much. I have like these visual memories of different countries and so on, and somehow I placed this in the Singapore category. So very early on, I learned that my name meant helper. I could be wrong.
Okay.
And then I'll have to rethink my entire life.
Oh God. Well, you have a half a year, I want to say, but 50 more years.
Oh, good.
Until you turn 100. So you got 50 years. So you're half there. So
I can burn the bridges that I
exactly.
that
oh my gosh, that's too funny. But no, the reason why I'm asking is because now I want to know what does Christina mean? I have no idea. I never thought of it that way.
Right? I know. It's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
wow. Okay.
And my mom always used to tell me, and this is also this goes back to Singapore times. She would always, she would say, I think I've told you this before. that she never worried about me. She was always like,
Oh,
you know
okay.
what? You're gonna, wherever you end up, you are gonna land on your feet. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna do what you need to do to survive, kind of thing. And I always took a little offense to that. I was like, geez, so like you worry about the other two, but me, I'm gonna somehow be just fine. But
So you're the middle, right?
Yep, middle child.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah, but then if you
why.
go by the whole birth order thing, because my sister is 8 years younger than I am, so
Yep.
then by birth order, isn't that considered? Wouldn't she then be the first, so to speak? And so then I'm technically the baby, because my brother's whatever, is he 2 years older than I am?
Wait, what math? Is this some different math that I've never heard of?
No, but if there's a certain, so let me start over.
Okay.
My
got me
brother
confused.
and my older brother and my younger sister, there's 10 years between the two of them.
Yes.
There's 8 years between my sister and I.
Yes.
And at a certain point, like if there's that many years between siblings, you kind of start over. Because essentially, Johan was out of the house, when Sophia hit whatever her teenage years kind of thing.
Okay. Well, but how does that make you the baby? I'm so confused.
Well, I will have to research it and get back to you. But
Okay.
I just remember hearing that if there's
Is
too
it
many,
from mythology or is it like an old?
No, it's from
way of
I think it's the Birth Order book. Whoever wrote that book that I haven't read called Birth Order. That's what people keep referring to when I hear about this. Is that
Really?
if there's enough years between siblings, then you're kind of considered your own, like you're an alone child.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I've never heard that.
Huh?
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Well, maybe
Well, I
I'm
mean,
wrong.
the only way I would look at it is, my brother's 3 years older than me, and when I turned 18 and moved to America, all of a sudden I became the big sister, meaning I felt like I was older than him, mainly because of where I was and where I was in life and what experiences that I was doing. Like I left my country and moved to a different country, but I wouldn't think that I've never heard of this book, Birth Order, and how that would change from being, being the middle child. All of a sudden, you're the baby. I have no idea how that would work. So please, yes, please research that because
We'll look it up.
Yeah, that is confusing to me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and again, I haven't read the book, but that's what I keep hearing
Got
from
it.
people that have
Cliff
read
notes.
the book.
Find out the Cliff Notes. Ask ChatGPT.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it covered. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
Okay.
Very
That's
nutshellish,
awesome.
but yeah.
That is very nutshell. That's very broad strokes there because I
Uh-huh.
know a lot of things have happened in between.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite place to live? If you could pick and go back and live, let me ask you this 2 questions. What was your favorite place to live, and where would you go back living for the rest of your life if you had a choice?
I don't really believe in going back. That's the only unfortunate thing.
Okay.
Well,
starting a new chapter in a place that you've already been at, then don't look at it as going back. Again, you might have cancer, I might have to pee. So if you look at it, of any of the places that you've lived, would you go there, not go back, but would you go there and spend the rest of your life there and live there and create a new chapter of your life there?
I mean, it's so easy to say Sweden, and
Okay.
It's so easy to say Sweden.
Okay.
Only because I miss the 4 seasons, and Sweden represents kind of, for me, because my childhood had so much to do with being at the barn and being around horses and being in the forest. That's what I remember and love.
Right.
Would I have that going back? I don't know. Who knows? I'm a little bit older. It's a little bit different, all those things. But it's, I think, just maybe being, I'm not your typical, I think, Swede who has left Sweden and then has come back. I haven't spent enough years in Sweden to be a real true Swede, unfortunately, which is probably why I identify I cling to my Swedish citizenship because, that's such a
So
huge
wait, so back up,
identity.
because this is interesting. Why do you say that you don't feel that you are the true Swede? Like, what makes you feel that you're not a true Swede?
Because most Swedes have spent more time in Sweden.
Yeah, but you don't have to be Swedish. Or you don't have to live in Sweden to be Swedish. You have Swedish parents. You have Swedish siblings.
Yep, all those
Right?
things.
I
Yeah.
mean, you speak Swedish. You
Yeah.
speak Swedish at home. You speak Swedish with your parents.
Yep.
You had a Swedish upbringing,
Yep.
even if it was outside of the country. Why would that make it that you?
I don't feel like I don't feel like a real Swede. I feel like an imposter a little bit. But this is the thing. I never feel like I belong.
Huh.
And I don't know if it's because, so like when I lived in Brussels or in Singapore, most people are only there for a certain period of time and then they move on. So that was fine.
Yeah.
But here, like in Arizona, most people, I don't know, everybody's from the US here, or I feel like most people they have friends that they've known since they were 2 years old, or we met in elementary school, and I just don't have that. So I always feel
So
a
you're
little
saying
bit.
you don't feel like you belong anywhere, like Arizona or Sweden or Singapore or Brussels?
So I feel like my truest identity is Sweden. So that's why it's so close, near and dear to my heart.
Right.
Because that's what I am the most of. Okay. However, my Swedish geography is sorely lacking. Like it's horrible. Like I probably shouldn't claim to be Swedish according to that. But
whatever.
But
most Swedes don't know Sweden either.
Right.
So you're fine.
So I'm a little bit, I know enough pretty much everywhere in my life. I know enough to be dangerous.
Okay.
Just about anywhere I go.
Okay. Interesting. That's funny. Wow. I didn't know that about you. Because for me, you're Swedish. I wouldn't, because when someone asks you, what's your nationality? What do you say?
Swedish.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
Well,
you belong.
I belong to that club.
But you have a American passport, right?
Yep.
You're a U.S. citizen, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
So, but when people ask you what nationality you are, you could have said United States. You could have said American, but you don't, because you identify as a Swede.
I identify as a Viking, correct?
There you go.
Yeah.
Hoorah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You should wear your horns next time I see you.
Okay.
If you have any, or we'll just do some emojis or something on this Zoom call here.
Sure.
I've never, ever, ever not thought that you are a true Swede. I've had a hard time pinning your accent down, because sometimes it's full-blown Stockholm and sometimes it's something completely different that I can't pinpoint, because
that's probably your fault. Yeah. That because you have a different,
especially when you try to speak Skånska from my part of the country.
Yeah.
That does not go well.
No.
And when I tried to speak for where you're from, Stockholm, or part of where you're from, but no, I've never ever not identified you as not a Swede.
Yeah. And where I'm from, I was born in Torshälla, outside of Eskilstuna,
right,
south of Stockholm.
Yeah,
which sounds a lot different than Stockholm. The people from Stockholm have one accent or one dialect, and then if you're from Eskilstuna, you just sound like a little more. You just kind of sound like you're complaining a lot. It's very like I don't know how to translate it in English, but it's a little more whiny.
My cousins, my dad's sister's kids, they grew up in Boden, up north, far up in Sweden, and then they moved to Eskilstuna, but obviously a lot of them were from down south. So when we got together during Christmas or birthdays, whatever it was, especially my female, can you say female cousin? How funny, sounds weird. But anyway, her name is also Christina. She had the funniest accents. Like, she would switch between Boden, Eskilstuna, and Skåne.
Yeah.
Like, it was the weirdest combination. And she can still switch it on and off today. And I don't think she even realizes that she does. But I do know that Eskilstuna is way different than Stockholm's.
Yeah.
When people from Stockholm. So, but no, I when I first met you, I was like, I have no idea where this woman is from. Besides thinking that you must be from Stockholm and lived in Stockholm for many, many years, because you do have a very strong Stockholm accent.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's probably because I spent a lot of my formative years around people from Stockholm.
Right. That would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it. Because we listen to Anne, our friend Anne,
Mm-hmm.
she truly is from Stockholm, right?
Mm-hmm.
She sounds completely different than you.
Oh, really?
Oh, way different.
I don't sound like her?
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope. Not at all. And actually, speaking of her, she just called today, so I need to call her back and say hello, because I haven't talked to her in forever.
I had coffee with her yesterday. And yep, and I was going to circle back and say, you know, our friend Hulda, who's a nurse,
yes,
she is days away from, I mean, she's leaving the U.S. tomorrow after how many years here? I mean, she's got to be going on 20 years plus too, just like me.
Right. Yeah.
And she's moving back to Gothenburg for at least a year. So
beautiful.
Man, hats off to her. What an adventure. We
but
wish
talk
her
about
the best.
Identity, though.
Yeah.
Hulda is from Iceland, right?
Yes, you're
She's
right.
from Iceland,
Mm-hmm.
and then moved to Sweden, learns fluent Swedish, and speaks like every other Swede. She kind of sounds like she's from Gothenburg sometimes, but you would never know, except if you look at her. She looks like she's from Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
She's this beautiful, tall woman.
Mm-hmm.
And but talk about identity and talk about finding where you belong. She's not going back, but she's going to Sweden to start another chapter of her life. I mean, I think that's remarkable, in my opinion.
Oh, it's huge.
So I'm super excited for her. That's awesome.
I'm so impressed. Yeah.
We should have her on the show after a bit that she's been there.
She said she would. She said once she kind of gets a little more acclimated and kind of, yeah.
Because I want to know what the culture shock is going back.
Oh, yeah. Not even on healthcare. You're right. She and I were talking about.
General.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So next time.
When I go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so next week. No, I've done a lot of talking this week.
No, you're supposed to.
But next time we'll get to hear your story.
Yes.
So I love this because I mean, yeah, we know each other, but there's a lot of stuff that you still don't know.
Oh, there was a lot of stuff that you were just told me about Mia that I had no idea about.
Yeah.
And I did know about the Disney managements, but I didn't know you went back and then that they were bought. I had the host that was bought. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's small world. But anyway.
Yeah.
No, I like this. This is fun.
Yeah. And then and trying to think the timeline on all this because I'm going to Sweden.
Yep.
So when is that? Not next week. But I'll be
at the end of July?
End of July, so 20th through and then I'm back on the 1st.
Oh, okay. So we are going to be what's today? Today is tomorrow's 4th of July, by the way. Happy America.
Yep.
Happy America Day. Happy birthday, Mr. America, Mr. and Mrs., whatever you call it. So when do you leave? What's the date?
The 20th.
Oh, so we could do 2 more. We could do one next week and then the one right before because it's Friday the 18th. If we record it on Thursday or Friday, we could record it right before you leave.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome, Blossom. Well, happy 4th. Are you doing something special for 4th of July?
I'm going to take the girls. Charlie's in California with some friends.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take the girls down to a local resort in Scottsdale. Not like a super fun, not like one of the high activity ones, not like the Princess. We're just going to go stay at a more quiet resort.
Okay.
That's super chill, close to Old Town. And
neat.
My goal is just to sit
Which
in
one?
The Scott. It used to be the Fire Sky Resort.
Yeah. It's supposed to be really, really, really nice.
They have an incredible bar, like an outdoor seating area.
Yeah, that's what you want to do with your 2 daughters.
No, well, I just mean that the
way to sell it, Sandra. Way to sell it. Oh my God.
I was there. You know who showed me this place since it changed hands or changed ownership was Tina, our friend Tina.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was there with Tina and Hulda actually. Yeah.
Okay.
On my birthday.
Got it. Wait. What do you mean on your birthday?
Well, after we went, yeah. After my birthday
Oh,
dinner.
the celebration.
Uh-huh.
Got it. You went there. Oh, that's right. I do remember that. Yep.
So their
Got it.
the whole feel is kind of like Havana. I can't even explain it. It's kind of like a Cuban feel. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So are you staying or are you just going there for the day?
We're going to stay one night. So basically I'm going to try and maximize my time. So so tomorrow morning, of course, we're going up to the barn, doing the horse, doing that whole thing. And then after we'll go up to the hotel and just find a good spot to chill.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's warm there, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be warm. Yeah. So, we'll be
just
in the pool.
Be in the pool.
Yes. Mia's looking forward to it because I've recently taught her about virgin pina coladas.
Oh,
so
my.
That will be her drink of choice.
You're such a good mom.
I might be having a not virgin pina colada.
You are so funny.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
But that's all I got. I'm all exhausted after sharing my whole story. No, I'm not.
No, it's awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. Cool. All right. Well, we're just going to keep chugging along and I will speak to you next week and we'll do some research. I'm trying to think, what was it that we're supposed to research now? Do you remember? Did you write it down?
Birth order. I'm doing the birth order book and I'm also looking into what my name actually means.
And what my name is.
And you will look into your name and we'll report back after the 4th of July.
Sounds like a plan. Happy 4th. Thanks everyone for listening to Sweets on the Loose. This was one sweet that's on the loose today, Miss Sandra. And next week we'll hear Christina's story. How I'm loose. I'm very loose.
Yeah, she's got a couple of screws loose. Just teasing.
Hey,
doll.